in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Is that how that goes? It'll be the August primary, and Teri Loew is here, Director of Elections from the Calhoun County Clerk's Office, to dispel some myths and set us straight, because we're still confused about this, aren't we?
We are. We're getting called daily, yes.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go with the myths first. What do people believe out there that just is not true about this primary?
One of the things, people look for who the incumbent is in a particular office, and they will not find that on the ballot only if the candidate is a judge running in one of the judicial offices.
Okay.
And they are allowed to have their title listed under their name. Now, we won't see that in the August primary. We only have one judicial office on this ballot. And Judge Miller, due to an age restriction, will not be running again. So all 4 candidates are new.
So there is no incumbent.
Not this election.
Right.
Come November, yes, you will see that in the judicial nonpartisan section.
Okay. Next myth.
Electors only need to register one time while living at their current residence. Okay. So if they move within their city or township, they can simply update their address with their local clerk or at the precinct on election day or when they change their driver's license. Now, if they move to another Michigan city or township, then they'll need to re-register at their new address, and election law allows a person to vote if they moved less than 60 days prior to the election.
That's an important thing. So, for example, if you move and your new address then would be a different precinct.
Not only precinct, but different jurisdiction.
Yes, okay.
If you move within the city of Battle Creek, that's okay. You can vote one last time where you're registered, and then the next election you'll go to your new precinct. Okay. Say you're moving from Battle Creek to Emmett Township.
Yep.
Then, no, that's different jurisdiction, and so you would need to re-register.
But if you haven't changed your address, say, on your driver's license, then you can presume then that you need to go to your prior address precinct, yes? Is that fair to say?
Yep. If you've moved and you have gone to the Secretary of State and changed your address on your driver's license, that will take care of your voter registration also.
Right, great.
If not, then excuse me, no.
To the old.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can do that if you're within that.
Within 60 days.
60 days, okay. And are there any other myths we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I was thinking this morning, the purpose of the primary is to narrow down the field of candidates within your party.
Right. And
with that is sometimes electors think they need to be registered as a Republican or a Democrat. And no, they do not.
Okay.
This election is unique in that you'll have one ballot. There's 3 sections on that ballot. And the first one being the partisan section. And in the privacy of the voting booth, the voter will determine which party they want to vote in. So they don't have to indicate or declare anything prior to that.
You just go in, pick your party's section on the ballot, and vote on that section.
Yes. And remember when you turn it over that you need to continue voting in the same party.
Okay. So, yes, the primary whittles the field. So if you're inclined to vote Republican, then you go to that part of the ballot and choose the candidates you want, and it helps narrow the field. Democrats, same thing.
Right. In the Republican Party this time, voters will see a contest in 2 of the county offices. Clerk Register of Deeds has 3 candidates, and the Water Resources Office has 4 candidates. And the highest vote getter will be nominated, and they will advance to the November general election. If you live in County Commission District 4 or 7, voters will be nominating one of 2 candidates to advance to the general election.
Okay.
And then there are several township contests on the Republican side. Emmett Township has 2 supervisor candidates vying for 1 position. 2 treasurer candidates vying for 1 position, and 6 trustee candidates vying for 4 positions.
So talk about narrowing the field.
Right.
It's going to be a job. Okay.
It will. And it shows how important your primary vote is.
Sure. If you have several candidates for one position, for example, this is a huge deal.
It is.
To narrow that field down and then make the real decisions later at the general election. Field narrowing primary. That's what we're talking about today. We'll take a break and come back on WBCK. We're here with Teri Loew, Director of Elections at the Calhoun County Clerk's Office. We're talking about the primary, which some folks are still confused about, but hopefully we're clearing through some of that cloud cover right now. So we talked about what the Republican ballot on the primary looks like, the Republican section of it.
Actually, column. Yeah.
Column. And now there's a Democrat column as well.
Yeah, if you're voting in the Democrat Party column, voters in the County Commission Districts 3, 4, and 7 will be determining one of two candidates to advance to the general election. Mm-hmm. So, and there's also some competition up in Bedford Charter Township with 6 trustee candidates vying for 4 seats.
Okay.
So once again, your vote will determine the highest 4 vote getters will advance in that office to the general election. So your vote does make a difference.
All right. What if you make a mistake? This is a common concern, I think. What if I color the wrong circle or push the wrong spot? Then what?
In Calhoun County, we do arrows.
We do arrows.
Yes, we do.
So you got to make sure your arrows point to the right thing.
And yes, the voter of your choice. So what we're talking about in the partisan section with the 2 columns, if you happen to stray across and vote for a candidate in the other party, then the tabulator's going to let you know. It'll have a distinct noise once you put your ballot through it.
Is that like a game show?
Yeah, not quite that severe, but yes, you know.
Yeah.
And the inspectors know.
Yes, so they know that noise. All right.
So the inspector will come up and you'll cover up your ballot. The inspector will approach the tabulator, read the error message, and you'll see that there was a crossover vote. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so, yes, if you're in the precinct voting on Election Day, you'll be given the opportunity to spoil that ballot, and then you can get a new one.
Okay.
However, if you voted absentee, and this is what we sometimes get calls on, and you realize now that you crossover voted, we'd want you to contact your local clerk who sent the ballot to you, and then you can spoil that original absentee ballot, and you'll be issued a new one. Now, if you voted absentee and you didn't realize that you crossover voted, the election inspectors will override the error when putting that ballot through the tabulator. And this means that the votes that you cast for nonpartisan and proposal sections will count, but no candidates in the partisan section will receive a vote.
Okay, there's just no time to run you out a new ballot and make you do it all over again. It just doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't allow for that.
No.
The absentee situation. Okay.
Correct.
So can you bring a ruler with you or help you make sure that arrow is straight, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, just wondered.
They're nice and big.
Got it. Nonpartisan voting has to take place, too.
Yeah, we touched on that just a little bit. Whenever more than twice the number of candidates file and can be elected for an office, then that non-partisan office will appear on the primary election ballot. So we have just one such office this election, and that's judge of the 37th Circuit Court. And there's 4 candidates on the ballot, as I'd mentioned. Voters can only cast 1 vote. However, in this nonpartisan section, the top 2 vote getters will advance to the general election.
Okay, very good.
A little different there.
And some precincts have proposals on which decisions will be made.
Some do, and some will be voting on 1 or 2 proposals this time. If you live in Clarendon Township, you'll be voting on a fire protection millage renewal. In Emmett Charter Township, you'll be voting on a road repair millage proposal. Marshall Township has a renewal of millage to increase the ad valorem taxes for fire operations. Albion District Library over on the east side of our state has a millage proposal. Athens Area Schools has an operating millage renewal and a building and site sinking fund tax levy millage. And Penfield Schools has a bond proposal, and DeContra Community Schools has an operating millage renewal proposal.
All right. And so if you're in any of those, you now know you have a choice to make there. We're talking with Teri Loew, Director of Elections at the Calhoun County Clerk's Office. Back with more in just a minute. Teri Loew is here with us from the Calhoun County Clerk's Office. We're trying to dispel myths and inform you about the primary in August. Sometimes some confusion. One of the great things, though, about the advancement of technology is you can get information you need about this stuff in advance on the web.
And it's very easy. First, I want to mention that all the candidates and all the proposal language that we've been talking about this morning is posted on our County Clerk Elections webpage. And that address is www.co.calhoun.mi.us. And I also have posted there in the announcement section on the homepage a link to where you can go and actually view a sample of what your ballot is going to look like.
Boy, it doesn't get any better than that.
It is. And, well, there is one better point.
Okay.
It's so easy that when you get to your sample, if the candidate's name is blue and bold and highlighted and underlined, you can click that name, and it will take you right to their website so that you can learn more about that candidate before you actually go in to vote.
Very nice.
That's a nice feature.
And that web address might have gone by fairly quickly. There's a lot of dots in there. If you just go to a search engine and type Calhoun County Clerk Register, boom, there comes the link. And that might even be faster than typing, and all that stuff. So you can do that, and it works out fine. I speak from experience on that.
Very good.
All right.
We like lots of hits.
Yes.
I did post a lot of valuable information there for the residents of Calhoun County to assist them in any way we can.
Okay. And, so that makes things very, a lot easier to be informed with the advent of such things.
And there's a lot of going on, a lot of overlap, spending a lot of time right now getting ready for November election even.
Yeah.
So it's interesting with this primary, the very first candidate filed November 4th of 2015.
Wow. They knew it. Wanted it.
And so, back then August seemed like a long ways away, and now it's just 19 days.
Right. November seemed like a long way away, too. And that's trucking right along, isn't it?
It is. Actually, the filing deadline for most candidates, school board and community college and villages, is coming up in just a week.
Okay. So if you're inclined to be in the general election, now would be the time to express that officially. Okay, another tidbit you have that we should mention before we go. Yeah,
this one I thought would be of interest to the listeners if they didn't know. The Republicans are listed in the first column in the partisan section and on the ballot this time, and that's because our current Secretary of State, Ruth Johnson, is a Republican, and that's how the order of the parties on the ballot is determined.
Oh, that's interesting.
So remember back, Richard Austin, Democrat, he held office from like 1971 to about 1994, 24 years, yes. I can remember when I first started voting, Democrats were listed first on the ballot. And so then, following him in 1995, Candace Miller was a Republican, and ever since, so the last 22 years, the Republicans have been listed first on the ballot.
Goes around, comes around. Yeah, that's right.
That's why.
That is interesting. So the Secretary of State's party affiliation determines that order.
Yes, it does.
Very interesting. All right. See, Teri's full of all this knowledge, and we appreciate your sharing it with us. Again, go to the search box on a search engine and type Calhoun County Clerk Register. You'll go right to their website. Teri's got that all set up there so you can do your homework before primary day. And if you joined us late, we'll post this conversation on the blog at WBCKFM.com so you can go back and review it.
Great.
Thank you, Teri.
Thank you very much.
We'll stay in touch.